Hi, and welcome back to the Burnout Recovery Club podcast. It is Michelle here, and I'm very excited to have someone on that is not only a mother of four, which I'm not quite sure how you do it because I just do two, and that's double. A stay-at-home mom, but she also has helped many women cut their grocery budgets in half, or the amount that they spend on their budgets in half. Basically, she's here to teach us how to spend less on groceries. And I need it. But we're also going to chat about money psychology and what the value of money is to you. So
Mm,
why don't we get started? This podcast is all about burnout. So I'd love to hear your burnout story or your lowest low if possible.
yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm super happy to be here and chat a little bit today. So you're asking for my burnout story.
Yeah.
I mean, I burned out a lot. There's been a lot of different instances where I feel like I kind of hit a low. But one of the beauties of hitting lows is that you get new clarity on how
Mm-hmm.
to move forward. So I would look at all of the times that have been a negative experience. They actually have been positive in the end. One of those experiences was when like you said, I'm a mom of four, left the workforce in 2014, decided to be a stay-at-home mom so that I could be with my children. My husband was the provider. He went out and got a job. And at that time felt like because I took myself out of the workforce, because I took myself out of making money, I felt like I could no longer contribute financially to our family. And my husband has always been really great about including me in the financial decisions. We've been a really good team in that. But it wasn't until 2020 that I finally kind of had this realization, I would say, of just because I don't make a paycheck doesn't mean I'm first off not valuable to our family and can't help us financially. It took a couple years of me really feeling like I didn't have much value when it came to our finances. And I would say that was one of those lows where my worth was tied to the income that I didn't bring in. And it wasn't until I realized, no, this isn't how it should be. There's a lot I can do as a stay-at-home mom to help our family financially, that then was able to grow and become, what I am today in 2025, which is so different than what I expected in 2020.
Well, that's awesome. And I think I speak to a lot of moms that have the same frustrations and the same difficulties that are stay-at-home moms, but feel like they're not quite providing enough or that they're not enough.
Mhm.
I know you said you felt that way, but what aspect of what you do now helps you teach other moms that they're enough as is?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't have to do anything to be enough, right? Our worth comes from within, so that's really important. Unfortunately, I didn't learn that until I had gone through the things that I had gone through. But I think that that's really important for all moms to hear is like the
Mm-hmm.
work that you are doing in the home is bigger and better than any thing that monetary value can give you. Um, so that's the first place to start. But there are a lot of things that a stay-at-home mom has access to that a working mom or someone bringing in a paycheck doesn't have. And that is time. Like we do have more time on our hands than a working mom. Like everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. We say that all the time. But a mom has more energy to maybe put into focusing on the budgeting aspect of the household and trying to make sure that every dollar that is spent in every area of your spending is in alignment with your values. So that way you can be really clear on where the money is going and how it is moving through your bank account. Not saying that a working mom can't do that, but a lot of times a working mom is so focused on making money and running the household beyond that a stay-at-home mom can really focus more time on that, I would say.
Okay. And I know in your podcast you specifically speak about starting off with figuring out what money you have before you start figuring out a budget. And I
Mhm.
think money can be such a dirty word or such an uncommon topic for women to speak about, specifically women to speak about in a day-to-day basis. How do we normalize talking about money as just a form of value that we are giving to get something else back? And Do you find that? I've found
Whoa,
that a lot with my
100%.
clients. Okay.
Yes, yes. When the truth is, money holds so much emotion.
Hmm.
There's so much emotion wrapped up in money. Unfortunately, like truthfully, I really think that we would be so much happier if we didn't place so much value on money. And we all have money issues. We all have experiences that have led us to believe money is a certain way. We were raised in a family that taught us certain things about money, and we've carried those things on us. For everybody has. And it isn't until you can diagnose and realize how you are treating money and how money is showing up for you and how you are letting money dictate your emotional well-being, that you can actually take your power back. And a lot of the work that I do with moms at the very beginning is just noticing the small little ways where money affects you, where, you open an unexpected bill and you're frustrated, you feel bad, you have judgment about yourself or whatever. And then that judgment turns into you yelling at your kid an hour later for something that you wouldn't get irritated about, but you've held on to that negative emotion throughout your day, and it's affecting your marriage, it's affecting your children, it's affecting your emotional and mental well-being. And until we realize that, we can't do anything to change it. And so many people are going through their life carrying this emotional burden and feeling shame about money, feeling upset, feeling like there's never enough money, feeling that stress. And it's carrying over into every aspect of your life. And when you can step back and say, oh my gosh, this is affecting me and I don't want it to affect me, then oh my gosh, now you've just unlocked something that you can then go ahead and change. Money does not give you anything. And 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 people are going to fight that 100%, but we think that money gives us so much. We think money gives us freedom. We think money gives us happiness. We think money gives us all of these things. You are then, when you say that money gives you something, you are giving your power to money. You are allowing money to dictate your life. And it isn't until you say, no, money doesn't give me anything. I create the life that I want. I can have happiness if I don't have money, because there are people in life, in this world right now living, that don't have any money and they're happy. They don't need money. And there are people with tons and tons of money that aren't happy. So money doesn't give you that. And when
Hmm.
you can really separate that, that's when you can really start to clear the noise from what money is.
And I love that. I'm so glad you're talking about money in such a easy, comfortable, conversational way so that other people feel like it's okay. We can talk about this and it's
Mm-hmm.
not this taboo subject. It's just a part of our lives and it's not everything. It's
Yeah.
not, in the past a lot of people would say success is the corner office, a certain title, a certain amount of money in the bank. And I think we as a society are starting to learn that it isn't those things.
Mm-mm.
It's the relationships, it's what we're spending our money on. And that's something you talk about, like um, saving money from groceries and spending the amount you want to on groceries so that you can use that money in other ways. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when again, young mom of 4 kids, overwhelmed with the idea to start budgeting. I talk to a lot of moms where like budgeting makes people want to pull their hair out. It's just something that people don't want to
Me.
do. Yeah, right. It sucks. Like I'll be
Yeah.
the first one to say it. Like nobody actually likes budgeting. If you
Yeah.
do, good for you. But like I would say 90% of the people on this planet do not want to budget. And I think a lot of times that comes from the emotion that we hold behind money and the restriction that we feel with budgeting. But when I was a young mom of 4, I decided, hey, I'm gonna start trying to help our family financially by budgeting. But the thought of tracking all the numbers, running the spreadsheets, doing all that felt really overwhelming to me. It was
Yeah.
like going from 0 to 100. And I was like, I don't have the bandwidth for that right now. And so what I started doing is I just started tracking our spending. There's really easy apps that you can set up that just like auto populate your budgets and they show you where the money is going. And so we did that. We downloaded the app and I was blown away to see that one of our highest expenses was groceries. Our top expense was rent. And then the next one was health insurance. And then the next one under that was groceries. We are spending $1,200 a month on groceries for a family of 6, which isn't even that crazy, right? That's pretty standard, I would say now. But it was the one area of our budget that was like, I can't really drastically decrease our rent prices. I can't really drastically do anything about health insurance. But groceries maybe are the one area that I could do something about. And so instead of focusing on all the budget areas, I was like, I'm just going to focus on the groceries. That's all I'm going to do. And that took out that overwhelm for me. Hyper focusing on that one budget. Also,
Yeah.
feeding your family is stressful. And
Yes. Yes.
planning, shopping, cooking for your family is like a full-time job in and of itself. And I also was like, if I could figure out a system for this that makes it easier, then I will have one as well. So I started, really focusing on what can I do? What works? What doesn't? I tried a lot of different things. Some things worked, some things didn't. And I created this system and I looked back and I had saved us $500 a month on groceries. So I took our spending from $1,200 a month to $750 a month. And what I had done felt easier and simpler than what I was doing before. And I was saving us $500 a month. And I was like, holy crap, like this is gold. This is
Yeah.
amazing. I'm saving us $7,000 a year just by focusing on this one budget. And at the time, I was sharing what I was doing on social media. I was like, hey, this is what I've tried. This is the success we're seeing. And when I say it spread like wildfire, it was like I was getting messages daily from moms who were like, oh my gosh, I did this and it saved me $300. And this tip works really well. And so I was like, I need to take what I've done and help more moms because moms need help with this. We need to be able to save money so we have extra money in the bank account at the end of the month. We need to be able to eat healthy and feed our family nutritious food. And we need to make this easier and less stressful, spending less time in the kitchen, feeling like you're more in control of that. And so that's where this all started, was just like what I've done works. Now it's time to help other moms as well.
Yeah. And I think not even including the lifting a bit of the mental load. So for
Mm,
me, I love cooking. I really do. I enjoy it. And sometimes the kids cook with me and it's fun. But trying to think of something healthy, easy to make every single night is exhausting. And I know I'm not the
mm-hmm,
only one. Like
mm-hmm,
it's no matter how much you enjoy it, it can just numb you sometimes. So having that short list of these are the things that we're going to eat, and I haven't got it as right as you have with ordering things every 2 weeks or so, but I feel like I've improved. So
mm-hmm.
what
Yeah.
would you say to the audience to get started? Like what is the one thing that you would suggest to get
Mm.
started in this sort of removing the exhaustion and cutting down on the money that you spend?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different levers that we can pull. There's so many different things that we can do to help this. But I would say the first place to start is first like tracking your spending, just
Mm-hmm.
even like knowing how much you spend, because the majority of the women that I talk with that are getting started don't have any idea, or they think they know, and then it's like very different than what they actually are spending. Like I get
Yeah.
a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm spending like $1,200, $1,300 a month on groceries. And then they go look at their bank statements and they're like, oh, I was wrong. Like it's like $1,800 a month. Most people, I would say, are that. So even just becoming, and this is what we talked about earlier, is like just becoming cognitive, just
Aware.
realizing where you're at. You have to have a starting point and you
Mm-hmm.
have to have a target to hit. Like we need to know where we're at in the playing field. And a lot of people, when it comes to money, we're afraid. We're
Mm-hmm.
afraid to look at the spending because it's going to make us feel bad. It's going to make us feel guilty. But we have to take out that emotion and come to terms with where you're at so we know where you're going. But that's also the
No
beauty in
matter how
finding
bad it
progress.
is. No matter
Yes,
how bad it
yes,
is.
yes.
Even if it is something you're ashamed of and something that's really embarrassing, you still need to look at those numbers in order to start.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
what is, I guess, like, I would ask you, like, what is shameful about your spending, right? Like, why should you, what, you shouldn't feel bad about it. Like, you didn't fail. You didn't do anything bad. You were just feeding your family, which is a
Mm-hmm.
very noble, healthy thing to do. And there's no, you shouldn't feel bad about whatever you're spending, but you should know that there is opportunity here to save money. And so once you've kind of gotten over that idea of like, okay, I'm gonna actually track how much I spend. First off, nobody taught you how to do this, right? Nobody taught you the correct way to feed your family. So again, you have not been failing because you don't know the correct way. Then what we can do is really, really focusing on the food that is in your house already, and I call it shopping the shelf.
Hmm.
That's the first step. Is so many people have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars sitting in their fridge, sitting in their pantry, sitting in their freezer. And then how often are we going to the store to buy new food without using up the food that is already in your house? That is free. We don't have to pay for it anymore, right? We already
Yeah.
did that. That's done and paid for. So really focusing on that. And on top of that is food waste,
That's
right?
what I was going to say. Like the last thing I
Yes.
want to do is waste food. So,
Yes. Yes. And the average American family, I work with a lot of American families,
yeah,
is 30% of the food that we buy ends up in the trash can. So if we just focused on decreasing or eliminating food waste, we could decrease your spending by 30%. And that it's not complicated. It doesn't have to be like creating these like exorbitant meal plans to make sure you're eating all the food. It's really just changing the mindset of like, I'm not going to go buy more produce if I have produce in my fridge that needs to be used. I'm not going to go purchase more perishable items when there's perishable items in my house already.
I'm still not sure how you do fruit, but maybe one day you'll let me know your secrets with fruit.
Are you in the Money Mom Club?
I'm
Have
not,
you? Okay, so in the Money Mom Club, my online membership,
but
we have a whole.
I have done
Oh,
one of your free trainings and I
oh, good.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. So the Money Mom Club is inside there. We teach. So one of the things that I teach is another thing to start is 2-week grocery shopping. And the first thing people say is, how do I have produce that stays fresh? So we actually have a whole master class on produce, and we go through like every produce item, and here's how you store it, and here's how you make it last for 2 weeks. Because not all produce lasts for 2 weeks, let's be
Yeah.
honest. But there is a lot that does. And so when we really get smart about how we grocery shop, then we can space out our trips more and save lots of money through that process.
It's the goal. Maybe you'll teach me how.
Yeah. It's not like, and that's the thing is why I created the Money Mom Club was because it's a whole system, right?
Yeah.
And it takes trial and error and figuring it out. And like one of the things that's really important is this sustainable for your family, right? If you create a system that doesn't work for your family, doesn't work for your time and your season of life, you're not going to stick with it. You're not going to keep doing it. So we have to create something that is easier and works for all families, that is mendable and shapeable so that you can figure it out for your family.
Of course. And I think that seasonality of being a mom is so important because it's going to change. Home is going to change from, month to month, year to year. It's okay. Um, oh, so I wanted to ask, what do anything differently over the summer? Because my kids seem to eat me out of house and home in the summer, and I'm not quite sure how to prepare for it.
Yes. So the one thing that I would say really changes in the summer is snacking. Right, your kids are home more often and they're going into the pantry a lot more to get those snacks. Breakfast will be a stable meal. Lunch, you probably will expect to cook them a lunch, and then dinner's the same way. So when it comes to snacks, they can massively increase your budget when you purchase like prepackaged snacks or processed snacks. So one of the things that I really focus on in the summer is making sure that it's not grazing at meal times, that meal times are a set meal where we
Mhm.
build a healthy carbohydrate, protein, produce item so that they stay full for longer, right? If they're eating a full balanced breakfast, this is not just pouring a bowl of cereal. They're eating a full balanced breakfast. They're not going to be hungry at 9 a.m. You can get them to stretch it out till like 10:30 and then feed them a produce-based snack or ingredient-based snack that isn't processed and costs a lot of money. And it's structured by you creating like a charcuterie board or something that's easy that they can pull out of the fridge to grab. That's small, really, really small. I really try to eliminate as much snacking as I can because I think the kids eat healthier when they're eating full balanced meals, and they're going to spend, it's going to cost me less money. So, just a little snack to get them to lunchtime, then lunchtime again, full balanced meal to get them really full. And then usually that time between lunch and dinner is really hard to get them to bridge that whole time zone. So then we'll do another snack by around 3 o'clock, which again is very ingredient based. So that way they can just get them full enough to get them to dinner. So they're not eating full meals in between their meal times. And that really helps you save a lot of money and control the nutrition of what your kids are eating.
For sure. What do you have any picky eaters in your family?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Do
I
you?
do. Yes. And this is part of, my method that I teach from. The last part of the method is the P, the prepare. And we talk all about picky eaters and how to help picky eaters, because this is a whole nother aspect of feeding a family that I think it's not a matter of if you're gonna have a picky eater, it's when. I feel like
Yeah.
when you have children. At some
Yeah.
point or another, you're gonna have a picky eater to deal with. And so there's a lot of things that we can do to facilitate and help our children not be picky eaters and have a wide variety of foods that they'll eat.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to link up your website and your podcast and all of that
Mm.
information. So if someone wants to get in touch and find out more about the Money Mom Club, they can do that.
Yeah,
So
totally.
if you can just send that through. And then
Yep.
I've got a couple of other questions for you, non-related to food.
Mhm.
So what is the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh, wow. I don't know. Gonna make me think of a minute. Um, I think one of the things that I highly value about myself, which is probably why I really like it when other people notice it, is my ability to connect with other humans and really find like a deep soul connection. So when someone gives me that compliment that they feel like they were seen and heard and understood by me very like it really hits close to home, and it's something that I truly try to do.
Mhm.
And so that compliment, I really like that compliment when someone sees it as well.
Awesome. Do you know what Enneagram type you are?
Yep, I'm a type 3,
Type
wing
3.
2. Yes,
Interesting.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
That is very interesting. Have you used that much with your kids or your husband in building your relationships, or is that not really something you're interested in?
No. So I haven't done it with my kids yet.
Okay.
My oldest is 11, so I probably could do it with him and kind of figure
Hmm.
it out. But my husband is an 8. And it wasn't until I really got into learning about personality types, especially the Enneagram, it started making so much sense to me. Like things he would do that would drive me crazy. And I would be like, why do you do that? Because I think and I was like, oh, it's his personality type. It's literally ingrained in who he is. I'm not going to be able to change that.
Nope.
It was like, oh, it's his type 8 is showing now. And so it really helped me just understand and make sense of something that didn't make sense before.
Yeah, me too. I love the concept and I love using it in everyday life.
Totally,
That
totally.
and love languages. Have you ever done your
Yeah.
love languages?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I think
yes, for sure.
whenever someone's having like a relationship struggles, those are the two things that I tell them to check out first.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
has been the biggest challenge that you've gone through this year?
Um, I would say last year in the summer, so it hasn't even been 12 months, but last year we kind of came to a crossroads with our marriage and how we were showing up for each other that we were not happy with. And it wasn't until and we did lots of therapy to try and figure this out, but we kind of hit like a rock bottom. And it wasn't until we started learning about some of these deeper issues that we had, that how we were showing up for each other in our marriage, that we weren't able to finally like rewrite our relationship. And it's made all the difference. We did a lot of nervous system work with
Love
a
that.
nervous system
Love that.
specialist, learning about our own nervous systems, learning about each other's nervous systems. And when I say that our marriage is a completely different marriage than it was 2 years ago, but what we had to go through the breakdown. We had to go through that really, really hard. It was really hard there for a couple months. Um, but on the other side of that is like we are stronger and more connected and more understanding of each other than ever before. So it was
Wow.
really hard. It was really hard there for a little bit.
Well done for pushing through.
Yeah, thanks.
What is your pet peeve?
My
The
pet
thing that
peeve.
irritates you?
Actually, I'm a pretty easygoing person. But I think my biggest pet peeve is when people are mean or unkind to other people, like not giving kindness when kindness should be given. That is really, really painful to me. When people don't treat other people nicely, it doesn't go over well for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
um, what is one thing you wish people knew about you?
Huh. Um, Probably that there are so many different parts of me. So what people see maybe online or what people see in my life, even in like my friends, there's there's a deeper Rachel there. And so I love it when people are curious about, what's the business Rachel like? What's the spiritual Rachel like? What's the friend Rachel like? So I think everybody has this, but that there are a lot of different parts of me,
Hmm.
and I'm always happy to share about it. But sometimes it's hard to connect with people on, I connect with people on a certain level here, but not here.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like you're never ever going to get the full picture of someone until you like really know everything about them.
Is being vulnerable something that's important to you?
100%.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I try to be very vulnerable in how I show up. I try to be very authentic. And it really bugs it. That's another pet peeve when people aren't vulnerable with me. It
Hmm.
really bugs me. Like, just give it to me straight. Just tell me, just be authentic. I
Yeah.
do not like inauthentic people. That really is hard for me.
Okay. And what do you do when you feel stuck?
Hmm. It's not going to be a traditional answer,
Okay.
but when I feel stuck, I sit in silence and I try not to solve problems. I go for walks by myself and without music, without a podcast, no phone, because the answers come to me in silence. So
Okay.
when I'm stuck or feeling frustrated, it's usually because I'm trying to grind, because I'm trying to push against something, and when I pull back and when I calm the nervous system, when I calm myself, usually the answer is right in front of me.
Yeah. I love walking. Walking and listening.
Yes,
Maybe I need to
100%.
try walking in silence and see what happens there.
Oh, it's magical. It is magic. And the nervous system coach that I worked with, that was one of the things that we decided was like, stop walking with your phone
Yeah.
and just go walk by yourself. And
Yeah.
I do it at least once a day, usually twice, maybe 3 times a day. I'll just do a little loop around our circle, our neighborhood circle,
Hmm.
to kind of like reset myself.
It's the thing I'm most scared about with the upcoming summer break is I really enjoy
Mm,
having my quiet time and my time
mm,
alone. As much as
mm-hmm.
I'm an extrovert, I really have like such an awesome reset when I have that quiet time by myself.
Yeah, you
So
and me both.
I'm
Yep.
going to have to figure out a way to get that into my day somehow. I'll let
Totally,
you know if I
totally.
figure
Yeah,
it
let me know
out.
how it goes. We can brainstorm together.
Exactly. Okay. And then I know you mentioned that you have been following intuitive eating. Is that still something that's part of your life?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that changed my life. Oh, so I started intuitive eating back in like 2013. I read the book and learned the concept. And after years of dieting and trying all these things, I never felt peace with food until I incorporated intuitive eating. And I've never gone back to macro counting, calorie counting, any of that. I mean, I know health and nutrition. I have a background in
Hmm.
health and nutrition, so I know how to eat properly, but I'm 100% a golden star intuitive eater and always will be. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome. So do you get any of your clients that challenge that concept?
No, I've never
No.
had, no, I've
Okay.
never had that. Yeah. I mean, we don't coach nutrition in
Yeah.
that respect. Um, So yeah, no, I don't even think intuitive eating is really a part of my program or what I talk about very much. I don't think,
Hmm.
I mean, if you've followed me for a long time, I used to talk about it more. I don't talk about it as much anymore
Hmm.
because it's not even something I think about, to be honest.
You just don't have those food thoughts. It doesn't consume as much of your brain as it used to.
No, yeah, and there are seasons where maybe I have to be more diligent about
Yeah.
how I'm eating and how I'm feeling and really focusing on the body. But intuitive eating is just a jumping stone for so much more consciousness, awareness of yourself and who you are. And so that was kind of the jumping off point for me. So once I really became conscious of how I'm showing up, how I'm feeling, how my body is reacting, it makes intuitive eating that much easier
Yeah.
because I'm a holistic person all the time.
Yeah. So instead of looking outwards, you going within.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about that I didn't bring up?
No, no. If anybody
No.
has any questions, feel free to reach out and
Awesome.
DM me on Instagram or listen to the podcast. Yeah, happy to share any
Awesome.
questions people may have.
Awesome. Well, you have a wonderful summer break, and I hope you get a break in that summer.
Thanks. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Awesome.